Why LinkedIn isn't getting you any clients. In the next 10 minutes or so, guys, I'm going to show you exactly what your bottleneck is in your business, so obviously you can fix it. What you don't need here is extra LinkedIn activity. You don't need to post more. You don't need to have more impressions. You don't need to have more comments. You don't need to send more DMs. All these things don't necessarily lead to more clients. Because if you're adding more activity to a broken system, all it creates is just more noise. Why listen to me? Like, how do I know this? Well, I've seen this break a few hundred times. So I've posted 2,500 times, and this is most of that is pre-AI. So remember the days that it was like old school copywriting. I've done that thing on LinkedIn. I've worked with over 200 founders, and so far till this date, it's August 2026. Our clients did over $3.1 million in tracked revenue. And if you know me from LinkedIn, this is the brand, the purple guy, almost 100,000 followers, which is pretty cool. But none of that matters on its own. It's just where these 6 bottlenecks that I will explain to you in the next slide came from. So the system that I'm about to explain to you is the following. Because getting clients on LinkedIn, as you might see it on screen, requires a system. Like 6 things need to happen in order. Every one of them is a place you can break. And trust me, guys, the moment you see it, you can't really unsee it. Because it starts with positioning, then it gets to attention, you go to trust, we go to conversation, we go to opportunity, and that turns into a client. So I will unpack them one by one in the next part. Because you don't want to ask yourself, how do I get better at LinkedIn? You want to ask yourself, where is my system breaking? So bottleneck number 1, and this is by far the one that most people screw up. And also, if you fix this, you get the easiest and the fastest result. So pay attention. Positioning, like I said, step number 1 in the 6 steps. What happens is you post, people see it, and paradoxically, nothing happens. The symptoms here is that your content gets some polite engagement. Peers engage more than buyers. Like you might have seen, like people in your industry or people old co-workers, they engage. And you look at it, and you're like, nice, but there's nothing I can do with it. These are people that will never buy my services, right? Or people that don't associate you with one valuable outcome, or your audience couldn't clearly explain what you sell. And this is such a massive one, guys. If you confuse, you lose. It's what Donald Miller, author for the Story brand, says. I quote this a lot. Bottleneck number 2, distribution problem. So this sits second in the chain. This is where the attention comes from. You have great positioning at this point. You have great content, but no exposure to your ideal client profile. The systems here is that you have good content, but a tiny relevant audience. The same 30 people engage every time. Like this might sound familiar to you, that you have the same people that you already started conversations with that engage every time with your content. You have little profile traffic from your ICP. So you're posting, you're getting some views, but you just don't see, you're not reaching the right people. You don't have enough qualified new people entering the ecosystem. And here's where 10,000 founders beat 500,000 randoms. Like I say this because I've gone viral over and over again in the last 12 months specifically. And it's nice. It feeds the dopamine, but we've collected more cash with specific posts. And this is always something that we tackle in this second bottleneck. Bottleneck number 3, the conversion path problem. So this sits in the 3rd stage. This is where trust comes in. You post, nothing happens, and then suddenly a client come out. Like this is good, but it's unpredictable, right? Like you can't build on this. What you want to do is the following. You want to post. The post leads someone to your profile. Your profile leads someone to an asset or your offer, which starts a conversation, which leads to a client. Like this is in a nutshell, the system that LinkedIn is all about. And I'll expand on this in the next few slides as well. Because what we've seen with so many people, they have 20,000 followers, some of our clients, but they still have no predictable pipeline because they operate on this post. They don't know what happens, black box, client. And this is just a strategy that ends at publish. Like write the post, publish, put your hands up to the sky, pray to God if you're religious like myself, and hope a client finds your doorstep. Works until it doesn't work. And trust me, this is a anxiety driven situation to be in, and that's something how you want to run and grow your business, right? Bottleneck number 4, conversation problem. So this is obviously fourth in this sequence. So you got the attention, you got the trust, but no conversations. This shows up in a way that people read for months, but they never raise their hand. You got a lot of lurkers, so people that are just checking out, like checking your profile, but nothing happens. You get the love, your content DMs, but they go nowhere. No systematic reason for prospect to engage deeper. And this is the thing, guys. Like passive trust is not a pipeline. Like people are just watching from the sideline. You can't call that a pipeline. So bottleneck number 5, like we go through this very fast because you want to just diagnose what the problem is and then take action, which I will go to over in a second. So opportunity problem, like what it actually looks like. You're chatting instead of qualifying, like you're having networking chats or just catching up with people. Free advice you're giving, but no transition, no transformation. And like I said, you're just networking that but never becomes commercial. You send a 30 DMs, you have 12 conversations, but 0 opportunities. And here's the thing, guys, like more conversations doesn't solve a conversation quality problem. Like you can start 100 conversations tomorrow, but if they're with the wrong people and you're just giving free advice and it just is a different way of networking, like it doesn't turn into business, right? And as you said as you seen in the beginning of this video, we talk about getting clients on LinkedIn. So we have a specific purpose here, right? And then bottleneck number 6, the system problem. And where it breaks is usually it breaks everywhere intermittently for most of our clients. And you're getting clients from LinkedIn. It kind of works until client gets busy, you travel, you stop feeling creative, you don't follow up, you miss a week, and or your priorities change. So what we see with all the people that we start working with before they come to us, their input and output are heavily correlated, right? They don't do anything, they don't get results. They push hard on LinkedIn, they get some result, life happens. They push hard, life happens. They push hard, life happens. Like literally last week I was catching up with one of our old clients, Julius, who's literally said that. He's like, hey, I'm consistently hitting 10K months now after we work together, which is obviously amazing, right? Because that was his initial goal. But he also told me that, hey, the pipeline kind of dries up every time I stop because I either travel or I don't feel creative or I miss a week or la la la, right? Literally the story here. So what we're working on right now is a system, right? Because you are a business owner and not a full-time content creator, and you don't want to have your business depend on how many marketing inputs you do on a single basis and have it like drop literally back to 0 every time you just miss a few days. Because if you have to consistently remember to make it work, you don't have a system yet. So I want you guys to screenshot this. You want to find your bottleneck. Like I said in the beginning of this video, in less than 10 minutes, you can find your bottleneck. If you have the wrong people engage, it's a positioning bottleneck. If you have the right content, but low exposure to your ICP, you have a distribution problem. If you have reach, but no inquiries or inbound DMs, you have a conversion path problem. If you have people that trust you but don't DM you, you have a conversation mechanism problem. If you have a lot of DMs but a few buyers, you're missing something in the stage of opportunity creation. And if your system works inconsistently, well, I kind of gave it away there. You have a system/execution problem. So screenshot this, and you might have a few problems here. But then what I always always recommend all of our clients, like start at the start of the funnel. So let's say you have this problem, and this problem. Well, you can fix this and fix that, but if this is still the bottleneck, nothing comes through. Like a system can only grow to its constraints, right? So always start at the beginning of the funnel. Like more people coming through this will, of course, increase also the throughput here. So screenshot this and figure out where your system or quote unquote system, if you don't have one, is currently blocked. Because fixing something that isn't the bottleneck doesn't change the outcome. Like we see this over and over again. Like people that have, let's say, a positioning problem, but they work on sending more DMs. or even more common, they have a positioning problem and they spam their feed with more content. But if your positioning is off, like you can send more content and more DMs, nothing sticks because the market doesn't understand what problem you solve, who you help, and how you deliver it, like the core three from positioning. So the reframe here, guys, that you don't need a better LinkedIn strategy. You need a functioning client acquisition system, because the components like separately aren't a system. Like each one of these is a piece. The same that like the engine of a car runs on a lot of components. Like I'm not a car expert, so I can't name a few, but you get the point, right? It's like the collective of the thing makes the car so powerful. And in our case of LinkedIn, it comes down to content, DMs, profile, offer. None of these things are individually the system. Like combined, they form the system. So what the system is for is it's moving the right people forward, because let's be honest, LinkedIn is just a client acquisition channel, right? It's just a marketing channel, same as that some people run ads. You might have done it in the past. You might be doing that. LinkedIn is just a client acquisition channel, right? And what you want to do is you want to have people that say, hey, I know this person. I trust this person. I should talk to this person. I should hire this person. And that's where content, DMs, offer, positioning all come into play. Now, it might sound a lot. So what we can do for you, we can diagnose this and install it into your business. Like we build and install the complete LinkedIn client acquisition system around your business. Like this is key. We don't give you something like template or copy paste from ChatGPT or whatnot. No, we spent 30 days building this system for you and then installing it to you, and you run it. Like that's how simple it is. So we go over positioning, we give you the content engine, like the voice print, distribution, conversion, conversations, follow-up, infrastructure, everything in just one overview. If you want to see more on that, like there is a link under this video or on my profile with a link to a page with a more extended video, breaks down the full system, and it invites you to apply if you want one of the spots. So guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.